Right, recording.
Okay, so hello guys, welcome to our call. This is a call that Tasha and a lot of us who are in the business decided to put together for you guys to be a resource for you guys to kind of give you a map of what to expect, a map or an ingredient book, a cookbook for you to create your business according to what you want from it. And also it's kind of like build your own adventure kind of experience if you want. The title, kind of the soft title of this training is going to be called Teach Them How to Fish. And why did we come up with this? Well, because we have a lot of trainings where we tell you, we point, we tell you where to go and all that stuff. But ultimately, what we want you to understand is that we're here to walk you through the steps, but ultimately we want you to fish. We want you to fish. Let's start with the minnows, and then we get into the guppies, and then we get to goldfish, but ultimately we want you to get the marlins, right? And so with that, and with that perception, and with that idea, that visual, I want you guys to just follow through. Tasha and I will be tagging each other back and forth in regards to how to start strong, right? What are the elements that are important for you to start including or incorporating into your life so that this experience can be A, fun, or as fun as it can be, and B, sustainable, and C, fruitful for you. So with that, Tasha is going to talk to you about the 3 steps that she most uses, especially with people who start this business. So take it away, Tasha.
Take it away. Talking about fish, I'm eating fish. No. So yeah, welcome everybody to our new call that we decided to put together. So this is something pretty exciting for me and Andreas. I mean, I don't know if you guys ever were on the Luke Wren call that we did. Sorry. The Luke Wren call that we did. But basically, the Luke Wren call that he did, it got him to NMD, and he was so consistent with this, and he did it every single week, no matter what. And the way I look at that is Luke Wren got to NMD with this, and I'm thinking, okay, well, I want to be an NMD. So me and Andreas had a conversation, and I'm, so lucky to work alongside someone that is so like me in many ways. So we said, okay, well, let's do a new distributor call. And also, I just want to be clear, this is also a call that, yeah, it's a training call, but also this can be a call that you invite maybe prospects to that perhaps have already watched a different call. Maybe people that, they've watched a different prospect call and they're thinking about joining the team and they're wondering, oh, what are the next steps? This is also, in my opinion, a good call to send to these sorts of people. So when I start someone off in my team, the first thing before I actually do anything is I make sure that they are on the products. If they're on the products, you have to downright refuse to work with them, like not in a rude way, but you really have to just accept that if somebody isn't on the products, then how can they ever expect to share this product with people? They will never come across as authentic. And the one thing that I want to be in this world, which I want my team to be as well, is authentic, raw, honest, true, real. And like Lauren always says to us, let's stay true to ourselves. So number one, more than anything, is get your team member at least on premium capsules. If they can't afford both, the shakes as well, then at least get them on premium. I don't have anybody in my team that's on anything less than premium.
And here's where I'm going to interject, just so you guys know where we're headed. So imagine we're going to take, how many of you guys love to eat? Just I want to see some show of hands. Okay, love to eat. So what we want to do is like, imagine if we're going to treat this as if we're going to a restaurant, right? So a restaurant that we want you to recommend. So the first thing Tasha said, we want you guys to get on the product. Same thing as you do in life, right? The first thing you do in life, before you recommend the restaurant, you first have to eat there. You first have to know what you're recommending. So that is why we have to tell you, we stress that you have to be a product of the product, because what I think is important is not what you're going to think is important. What Tasha thinks is important is not going to be what Tasha is going to think. Or sorry, we're not going to. Ultimately, what we're trying to say is that we're not going to actually choose the same things. And so we want you to find what's important to you. We want you to get to take away your golden nuggets, which will be very different from ours. We all have the same basis as basically saying that Juice Plus is really powerful for us. But the reasons, the actual ingredients, the little pixels that will make up that picture for you will be different than the ones that we're choosing. Number 2.
Exactly. So
Number 2 for Tasha.
I'm actually just checking. I got my notes back up.
Okay, so I have the notes here. So while she's chewing, she actually goes, sits down to the person. Let's say, taking the metaphor of the restaurant, we sit you down and say, what would you want? Here's the menu. The reason why we want to sit you down, and this is goals, right? She's going to go in depth with what she does with goals, right? The reason why we sit you down and ask you what you want is because, again, maybe I want to have like all the menu and I haven't eaten in a week, but perhaps you've eaten and perhaps you're just not, like, you're not keen on the salads, but you're keen on the rice dishes, so on and so forth. For a person to come into this business, it's not our vision. We are not the ones who are important. They're the ones who are important. And so in regards to goals, we want to talk them down, sit them down and talk to them and see what they want, what will make them excited, so that we can start making dishes according to their excitement. Take it away, Gun.
Exactly. So you're really good as well. I don't just ask my team to write goals down in general in life. A lot of people have never done this, so you kind of got to maybe give them some examples, because some people have never actually thought about what they might want to do with their life, because we're not taught to do that in school, you know. We're just not. No one. How many times do people ever ask you, like, one of my favorite questions in the world, and I ask this to strangers and everybody I meet, I say, if you could do anything, what would you do? And I love this question, and I pause and I let people, you know, have some time to answer. And it's really important to do this. And I even still ask my team now, I ask my customers, I ask everyone. I ask if I'm going on a date with someone. I ask every single person, because when you put people in that space, they kind of go, oh, what would I do actually? And it kind of makes you, it puts you in a room for growth, for me anyway, when I ask myself this question. So number 1 is, your goals, your tasks. This is like your first 3 tasks in business for my team members. This is what I do. When they've done these 3 tasks, they get back to me, we work together on them, and then I give them the next 3. I won't work with them until they've done the first 3 tasks. So that first one is goals. Really important to do that. You know, that's developing a vision as well at the same time. You know, you really want to talk about vision and goals, the same thing. The second thing is, really, this is probably the most important thing in building a business, and it never stops, is writing your list. So this seems like the most simple thing in the world, but actually some people find this to be the hardest thing in the world. So writing your list is really simple. You can start by going through your phone book. You can start by going through your Facebook. I mean, I have 4,000 friends on Facebook. So if I wrote down those 4,000 names and I really reached out to every single one of them, like, do you think I would get to where I want to get to? The answer is probably yes. So you just really, it's very simple. Writing your list, people go, oh, but I don't know anybody. And oh, but this, oh, but that. And why don't you just write them down? Like, write the names down. You know, you can start by thinking, who do I really love and care about that I want to make a difference in their life? But a lot of people you'll meet will go, I don't have 40 people. You shouldn't work with them, by the way, until they have a list of at least 40. Some people go, oh, I don't have 40 people that I want to help. So with those people, I've kind of gone, oh, okay. Like, why don't you want to help 40 people? But they mean in the respect, you know, they don't feel that close with someone. I say, you know what? It's not just about whether you're close with them. Just go through your Facebook and pick 40 names, write them down, start a conversation. That's all you have to do. It's not complicated. Don't make your life harder. Like, it's really simple. And you've got to ask yourself and think, you know, something I like to think about, I think we got taught this by Lisa Grossman, is if you were driving down a country road and you were in your little car and it was 3 a.m. and all of a sudden you ran out of petrol and you have no idea where you are, and who would you call? And imagine all the people that you're calling aren't answering the phone. So you call your sister, you call your gran, you call your boyfriend, you call your friend, you call your boss, and you call, etc. And keep imagining that person doesn't answer the phone. Who do you think? Keep on going till the list until you really think, oh God, I don't know who I've got left. And, you know, the more names, the merrier. But also, this is really important to make sure that you've done this and you have an active list, because if you don't, then your team never will. So it's really important to make sure that you do what you do and not just, you know, saying it, because I love the quote, watch the feet and not the lips. So that's really important. So yeah, writing your list, realizing that, you know, never prejudge, never know that you don't know someone's financial situation. You just don't know it. You never know, you know, whose health all of a sudden is going to change and who's going to get diagnosed with a disease or an illness in their family. You just never know. So ask yourself, what if it could help them? You know, what if? Also is one way that I like to look at this is that this is a responsibility, like Lauren always says, like this is not just an opportunity, this is both. This is a responsibility and an opportunity for people, and it's how you look at it. So that's the second thing. The third thing is, and I suppose this kind of links in with personal development too, is, you know, buying the book Go Pro. If you haven't read that book Go Pro and you've not bought that book Go Pro, then you really need to ask yourself, how serious are you in this business? Whether you wanted to do this for a hobby, for an extra 20 quid a month, for an extra £200 a month, you know, or dollars. You really got to ask yourself, who do we have? Thank you.
You have a little interference, but that's so. GoPro tag.
Yes. So GoPro, like, it's a really important. It's like what? I think it's like $10. It's about 10 a here.
$5.
You can get it on Spotify, which is mega. You can buy it, you know, audio. You can. I think you could even read some of it online for free, to be honest with you. So there are ways around this, and for people to be like, oh, I can't afford the £10, then you, my opinion, we need to be saying to people at the beginning when they join this business is, it's not 50 quid, it's 60 quid. £10 goes towards the GoPro book, because this book is what's going to help you start your business. Like,
so,
more than anything.
So to summarize right here, and going back to the metaphor, just so you guys can understand this as in a different way, right? The first part of the steps that Tasha talked about is goals. How to tailor the goals according to the person that's coming into your restaurant, right? That's, again, using the metaphor of the restaurant. What do you like? What do you don't like? So you can actually fine tune the dish that you want, the buffet or the dinner or the party that you want to design. The second part, she mentioned the list of people. Now, the list of people, you can start thinking of them as ingredients. For example, if we're thinking of cooking up a paella, what do you need? You need the rice, you need the this, you need the that. If you want to create your life, like a really bombastic, amazing, you know, amazing team of people to actually lock arms and run with it, or even customer base, right? What are you allergic to? Well, I'm allergic to douchebags. I'm allergic to nasty people, you know, so we're going to stay away from the allergic ones, right? But we want to concentrate on the things that we really like, right? That's if you want to look at it a different way, if we're talking about who do you care, who do you love, and who do you care for, I love, like, you know, I love like chimichurri, I love rice dish, paella, and all that stuff. So I'm gonna go towards that side of the menu. And the same thing goes with what Tasha talked about, the list of people. Many times, the key and what we are starting to become are the question whisperers. And the question whisperer, I'm putting that quote on simply because when I found out that in my case, when I've been asked certain questions, I kind of like, I'm a deer in front of headlights, right? I'm like, I don't know. Like, what do you want in life? Right? So what Tasha was alluding to was that we start getting really, we start using metaphor. That's why I'm using this, like, you know, the menu metaphor, in order for the mind to go somewhere else so that we can get back to where we want to go. So if you want, if suddenly you're asking someone, who do you love, who do you care for? No one. Okay. Well, that's a start. Who do you hate most, right? Then we can start making the list. And then from when you break that little barrier, then the mind starts really recognizing the things that we're seeking, right? I forget Tony Robbins talking about, he gives an example of, like, you know, imagine something that you want, like, let's do it right now. So, okay, so think of the color blue and look around wherever you are, right? I'll give you 2 seconds. 1, 2, done. So how many things did you see that you found with the color red? Everyone. Look at Tasha right there. Look at him. Okay, so the brain works that way. Okay, the brain works. We are getting a thousand sensor, like a thousand stimulus every day, including right now. But we've learned and we taught ourselves to focus on certain things that are important to us, right? So we will hear certain noises more than others, and we will see certain things more than other things. And right now, what this little trick or this little exercise has shown is that when we actually ask the brain to focus on something, we stop focusing on other things. So when you ask people these questions of like, let's build your what are your dreams? If you have someone that has had their dreams beaten out of them, they're not going to access those dreams. So we have to find a way of asking them different questions so that we can start the process, start the wheeling. So that's the second part, which is list of 40 people. List of 50 people. Listen, don't limit it. Just have a minimum. Let's say, for example, the expression would be, let's start with 50 people. But if you have more, we're going to welcome. And what I like to do is sit with the person that is starting with me, have a lunch, have a fun event, like fun something to do, and time yourselves. Get yourself a notebook, get them a notebook, and let's start writing people down and have Facebook and just start the process. One, because it helps them understand that this is not that complicated. It's not as complicated as they have made themselves out to be. And two, it gives you the ability to teach them in their body emotionally how fast they can get those 40 names, how fast they can access all those things that they haven't done up to this point. And then the last point that Tasha was talking about, the GoPro book. Now, this is a Bible. It's not the only book in this industry. It certainly is not. But it's certainly the one that has simplified the steps that we can go back to and refer back to. And why is that important? Well, going back to the restaurant menu. If I've shown you the menu and you've chosen your dish and we started getting the ingredients, then now I'm going to teach you how to cook that dish. And the most important thing I can want to make, let's say I want to go back to the paella. It's not going to be vegan paella, so just bear with me, right? So let's say that I want to make paella. Well, do you think it's going to make a difference if I put the rice on the skillet first rather than put the water? Yeah, because you're going to have a lot of roughage, and you probably be able to withstand 2 or 3 bites out of that paella because it's going to be all crunch, right? So the sequence of events, the sequence of the steps will actually determine the quality of the dish. And as far as GoPro goes, it's 7 simple steps, out of which pretty much 4 of them are the most important. And we'll discuss that in another chat, because this meeting here is to give you an overview of what you have to start really like going towards and prioritizing. Out of which today Tasha and I decided that DMO is a mystical unicorn-like terminology that we hear all the time, but it's, at least in my case, every time I hear it, I kind of get a little glazed eye, right? Because I'm like, oh, DMO, ooh. It's like FDA, oh, it's like this big word that seems very important and out of reach, when really we are doing it every day. And DMO stands for Daily Method of Operations, right? One of the O's got omitted, so Daily Method Operation. And what does that mean? And why is that important? Just like the recipe, it is the things that will boost your ability or your activity so that you can consistently go back and touch your business every day. So that you consistently are taking steps forward in this adventure that you decide to get involved in. And I'm going to actually change it so that you understand. Again, the metaphor of the restaurant is not so much for me to be giving highfalutin metaphors, right? But rather to show you that all the skills that you need to be successful in this business already exist. You are already doing it. The only thing you need to do is start applying it a little bit different. So how many of you brush your teeth? I want to, hands? Okay, so if you don't raise your hand, we need to have a chat. Okay, we need to have a chat. Okay, so everyone here should be brushing their teeth and should be vaping every day. Should be, okay? No judgment. So, every day, how many of you brush your teeth when you wake up?
Sometimes.
Okay, great. In the best of days. Okay, so what do? You wake up, you maybe read the newspaper, you go, in fact, let's break it down. How many of you put the toothpaste on the toothbrush, pass it under the water, and then brush? Okay, that's a daily method of operation. A daily method of operation is steps that you take every day. It's kind of like a routine or a ritual that you do every day that gives you a certain result. So for those of you who are just mystified by DMO, you're already doing it. You're already brushing your teeth. You're already putting your deodorant, for those who don't live in France. You are, oh my God, I can't believe, I hope no one's from France here. I'm joking, guys. I'm joking. Okay, I'm using stereotypes. For those of you who, who read the newspaper every day, you get up, you have your routine, you have your ritual. A DMO for this business really is just incorporating those habits, but doing it with different items. And so for the 5 steps that Luke Ren touched upon before, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna tag Tasha for those 5 steps. Tasha, take it away.
You call me Sasha, then I like that. Okay,
I didn't say Sasha. I said Tasha. It was my slur. It was my lip.
I like Sasha. Okay, like it's totally fine. I can live with Sasha. Okay, so we want to be also really respectful of everyone's time, and this call will only ever be half an hour. So I've got 4 minutes to tell you 5 things, which is great because I talk very fast. So if English isn't your first language, I apologize. Maybe we can get subtitles next week. So the 5 to Thrive is something that Luke Ren, I heard him say once, and I thought, oh my God, that is so good. I'm going to teach my team that. So the 5 to Thrive is really, really simple, and it's something that you can do within 15 minutes, or you can spend 2 hours doing it. What I find is most people actually, do the most amount of work in the last 15 minutes of a 2-hour time slot. So if this is me, honestly, and if you are someone that's so busy and you don't even have 15 minutes, then you find 5 minutes here and there, and you find it in like that. And, the 5 to Thrive, it's very simple. It's very easy. So the first thing is you connect with people. So you can go on to, you can use Facebook groups for this, really think about what it is that you like to do, like your hobbies and stuff, and connect with those people on Facebook. Try and connect with people, like if you're, like, for example, I'm a young 20s, a female that does modeling and has her own health business, right? I would not go and put myself in like a biker dude's, like, I don't know, like a middle-aged man biker dude group on Facebook, because like I have no connection to that group at all. And I find sometimes people get a bit desperate in this business and they just try and jump into everything, and the people that aren't vegan will go in the vegan groups, and it's like you're going to have one conversation with someone and someone's going to go, so how long have you been vegan? You're going to go, oh, actually, I just had steak for dinner. And that vegan's going to lose all respect for you. So it's one of those things that actually connect with people that are like you. So and send these messages, connecting with people, sending messages to people. That's one way to find people, but you can go on the street and meet people. I don't mean cold message and cold run it. Hi, you want to hear about my business? Don't do that. I mean, connect with people when you go to the shop, or connect with people on your social media. But just connect with new people every day. That's the first thing. The second thing is check in with your upline, your sponsor, or like the team that you're in. You probably are in a Facebook group. So if it was me, I'd be posting inspirational stuff, or at least commenting, adding value, and, showing your team members sidelines and uplines and downlines that, you're present and you're aware that you're in that group. That can take like a matter of seconds. The third thing is very similar, but it's for your customer base. So going in and adding value to a customer support group. So if you don't have customers yet, then this is something that you really should be doing from the off-go anyway. You're going to be in a team that has that customer support group. So you need to be going in there, commenting, adding value, liking stuff. If you're not confident enough to post in that yet, then you can at least comment and like on what anyone else has put. The fourth thing is have a social media presence. Use apps that can schedule your posts if you're too busy to post all day. I set alarms on my phone throughout the day and they go off. One just went off then. And having a social media presence is really important. Do not post Juice Plus. Like, don't talk about, oh my God, I started taking this product and it's really good. Like, no one cares. But what they do care about is how you feel, your lifestyle. The amount of people that I get, coming up to me going, oh my gosh, your life looks so good. And I'm like, you have no idea what's going on in my head right now. But it's the way that you can show yourself up and how do you really want to show up in the world. The legacy I want to leave is I want to be known as the most positive girl in the world. And I know that everybody's watching me on social media, so I have to make sure that I'm positive no matter what I'm going through in my life. Most people can tell when I'm going through a challenge because I normally talk about how I'm going to overcome that challenge. And there's nothing wrong with that. Always be real, be you, be authentic. Let your Facebook be a shop window to what you would look like if you were in a shop. Does that make any sense? I hope so. So the final thing is, and then we're going to end the call. Andreas is going to finish it. Don't talk too long, Andreas. I can say that to him.
Go!
The final thing is you follow up with your messages. You follow up with the new people that you're connecting with. You follow up with people that are commenting on your post. You follow up with the new people that like your stuff. Follow up with your friend requests. Follow up. The fortune is in the follow-up. If you're not following up, you haven't got a growing business. Anyway. That's it from me. I'm going to hand over to Andreas, and then we're going to skippy-doo.
So, guys, the purpose of these calls are for you to get little, glimpses of what this could be, to simplify your steps, to actually get ideas of how to approach, your prospects or how to take the next step in your journey. But more importantly, is for you guys to get into action. Okay, that was a little robot move here in the Zoom call. I was just at the regional here in Los Angeles, and Joy Kelly mentioned something about. Bye, Amanda. You're very welcome. I mentioned something about beware. I'm paraphrasing. Beware of getting into the false sense of accomplishment from being in an event, right? The accomplishment is really taking that information and put it into action. And so, in summary, we want you to know and to understand that this little space here is for everyone to bring new prospects and new prospects and new team members, so that we can all start marching on the same beat, so that this can become a duplicatable source of energy for you guys. But more importantly, the test of it all, the test of the information is you. How are you going to take this information and apply it to your business and to yourself today? And with that, we leave you goodbye. We look forward to seeing you either in this call next week or any of the plethora of calls throughout the week. Remember, this is an event, so start inviting people to this event. Don't be by yourself here. Start creating your menu of ingredients and let's cook a wonderful paella. High five, guys!
Bye, everybody.
Have a great Monday, Mike.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.